Am I the a-hole for letting my kids loot my brother's house to prove my point? My brother and his family came for a visit last month. My kids and I play with Legos, and we have fun leaving little dioramas around my house. Just silly stuff like a fight between Iron Man and Darth Vader on the Loot Llama. It's just our way of leaving Easter eggs around the house. That has to be the cutest thing I've ever heard of. New goals for when I have kids. My nephew really liked them and decided to take a few home. When we noticed they were missing, I asked my brother to bring them back. He said that it was just kids being kids and that he would give them back the next time we saw each other. I saw him for coffee and I reminded him beforehand that I wanted all of our stuff back. He forgot to bring the toys. Okay, game on. We went over to his place for a barbecue. I told my kids that unless our stuff was returned to us, when we got there, literally anything in the house was fair game. Like the godless barbarians they are, they went to town. When we left, I don't think there were any remotes, small electronics, or beer mugs left at his house. I actually had to sneak the dog back into the house before we left. Damn. Taking the dog is crazy, but also that would be so funny. I actually had to sneak the dog back into the house before we left. I started getting calls on our way home. I ignored them. When I got home, I returned his calls. He said a bunch of stuff was missing from his house. I said I would check with the kids. He said that I effing well knew what happened and that he wanted his back. I said I would box it up and return it the next time we saw each other, as long as we got our Legos back. He was at my house with my Legos later that evening. He had even accidentally included stuff that wasn't ours. I returned it and his stuff. I told him that this is how we would be dealing with his kids in the future. He is pissed off that he had to make a special trip to return my stuff. My parents think that there is a huge difference between an 8-year-old taking Lego minifigures and a couple of teenagers pillaging their uncle's house. Am I the a-hole? I'm trying to decide, chat. I don't think it's a great move to encourage stealing in little kids. That being said, even if that argument is somewhat merited, it's different when they're teenagers and they're able to understand like, oh, this is a prank that we're pulling on our uncle. So even with that the case, I still think karma's a bro, like not the a-hole. For something as little as this, fighting fire with fire is okay. And they absolutely got the point across. It's so immature. OP is very silly, but it is a little funny. I agree with you there, Kat. And could he have gone about this in a more mature way? Yes. Did anybody really get hurt here? No. So I don't really feel like it's the end of the world or OP shouldn't have been petty. I say be petty, bro.